I only do it because out of like a sense of guilt for, oh hey, this stuff is going to go into a landfill if I don't recycle it.
There's probably several reasons why people don't recycle.
It's like saying, why do I breathe? You know, it's like, isn't that what you're supposed to do?
I think the reason people might not do it is because they're lazy, or they might just not know what's recyclable.
While it is sometimes a hassle, I really would like to recycle more.
To be honest, I would have the time to do that, but I mean, I guess just for convenience, I choose not to.
It would feel really wrong not to recycle. It's like throwing trash in the street. People don't do that anymore.
Might just have a nice bag of box board, which is just broken down cereal boxes, pasta boxes. We're going to finally take care of all my recycling that I've been accumulating for the past 7 or 8 months, I'm gonna say.
The practice is if you don't want something anymore, you throw it in a waste basket. We've been raised that way. We have trash baskets everywhere. So that's part of it. One, making recycling as easy it is to throw something out will improve the number of people that actually do recycling. And if you do it enough, then it becomes second nature. And until it becomes second nature, it's work. People don't realize that recycling has, or throwing stuff to the landfill has cost, some of which can be recovered when you recycle something.
For example, one of my roommates doesn't recycle because, I mean, 2 feet outside our door, well, more like 10 or 20 feet outside, like right outside our door, we have a dumpster for everything.
Well, as an undergrad, I actually helped lead a campaign with the student group ECO to try to get recycling bumped up on campus.
I got involved with ECO my freshman year. I really wanted to help out the environment. ECO had presented information to the Board of Trustees to show that students wanted recycling. And it wasn't until after that like 4 years later, they actually were building a new recycling facility and we're starting to recycle again on campus.
It used to be very spotty in the residential halls in particular. Your ability to recycle even newspaper was difficult.
There's probably been some form of recycling on campus since the 70s.
It's better than it used to be. For a long time, they would recycle only paper that didn't have any kind of glue or gum on it, so envelopes couldn't be recycled.
Whether it was structured, unstructured, student-driven, primarily student-driven, grassroots.
Currently, in all 579 buildings on MSU's campus, we have what we call the 5 materials, main materials that we're recycling.
White paper, mixed paper, newspaper, cardboard, and plastics 1 and 2.
We just recycle pop cans.
And we turn them in for our deposit money. And that's pretty much as big as of a part we do.
If they don't pick it up, then I don't save it and then take it to a special recycling place, except when it comes to things like computers and computer parts.
I mostly do number 1 and number 2 plastic, paper, like newspaper.
Let's say if there are like some plastic milk jugs or so, instead of driving like 5 miles from my place where there's the recycling center, maybe I would just throw that stuff away.
Oh, they're always sort of limping along.
When I used to live in Snyder Phillips, they had like a bunch of bins right by the cafeteria, which was pretty nice because I could just take stuff down there.
My sophomore year, I was part of a research team, and we broke off in various groups, and one group actually did try to enhance the recycling program. However, they found a lot of obstacles that they had to overcome, and they said that, you know, since we already have somewhat of a program in place, they really weren't too flexible working with us, and it was, they found a lot of challenges along the way.
There's always ways that we're trying to connect with students and to get them to help, because yes, you're here for 4 or 5 years. That transient piece makes it hard, so if we can get the students on board when they come to campus as freshmen and they have 4 years to help us, they're also educating the underclassmen as they come in as well.
When I came to MSU, I really just embraced it. I was so happy to have the opportunity to be able to recycle. Even though I couldn't recycle on campus, I always made my roommate recycle everything, and then we would take a bus trip and then we'd drop off all the recyclables.
It gets to be such a pain because I have to take an hour out of whatever day to actually pack up the stuff, put it in my car, schlep it to the recycling drop-off place wherever I decide to go, and then actually take the time to crush the milk jugs and break down boxes and stuff and sort the paper and all that. And that takes time.
No, I hate having to drive. I mean, if you come to my apartment right now, you end up seeing, I have a corner of my kitchen is completely dedicated to recyclables. So I have a box that has paper and newspapers, and I have bags that have plastic bottles and cans and stuff. And I mean, having it, first, it's an eyesore in my apartment, but I'm not going to not recycle because of it.
I mean, there's a couple locations around East Lansing, but I just lack the time. So I mean, if I had curbside pickup or something like that, I wouldn't have a giant pile of stuff to carry.
Definitely off campus, there needs to be some major improvements with the apartments and with the city of Lansing and East Lansing to try to make it so students who don't live here on campus can still recycle and make it easier for them to do.
It'd be a lot easier in my apartment if they just had a dumpster or a bin or something like that they just took to the recycling center that's right down the street.
What we need to do on campus here is make it really convenient. In the past, we'd have some recycling bins out, but not maybe every place that we need to have them. We're really making an effort to get those recycling bins in locations where we think they're needed.
We're working on sensors to make the recycling system more efficient, because there is a new plant that is coming in hopefully this summer that will be finished and up and running by the fall. That will be MSU's recycling plant, so we'll be able to do not only just the papers but also the metals and the glass and just everything that needs to be recycled we'll be able to do.
Some processor somewhere going to buy that from us. For newspaper, for example, it could be Applegate Insulation that's out in Weberville. They actually take newspaper and shred it to be used as insulation.
With our new facility out on Service Road and Farm Lane, that's another indication that we're going to be a leader. I have colleagues across the country that are just drooling over what this facility is going to provide.
Before, we were really a transfer station. We took the materials off campus to a warehouse over by Amtrak.
Well, this is the MSU recycling plant. We basically take all the recyclables from the campus.
And when our facility is up and running, we're going to be able to bale those materials.
And baler is important because it's how you, in a sense, containerize product and actually be able to store it and ship it.
We hope to process everything in the new plant. So whereas here we just kind of organize and have things shipped out, in the new plant we're hoping to have a whole process plant where we can do everything within the plant.
So it becomes a piece of the supply chain that otherwise we have to have somebody else do.
We're diverting about 17% of that waste stream right now and recycling it.
If people understand that there's a relationship between this waste reduction, resource recovery through recycling, then perhaps they'll be more motivated when it's necessary to take an extra step, or instead of throwing it in this box, I put it in that box, and that box will be a recoverable box.
Some of the planning and how we tackle some of these challenges have taken longer than what we thought.
My grandparents used to throw everything in the recycling bin. They'd just be like, that's plastic, it's recyclable, right? I'm like, no, you have to look at the little symbol thing.
Recycling is meaningless unless it's part of a very much larger political project.
So are things happening at the pace, and are we getting results at the pace that we'd like? Yes. Would I like to see it happen a little faster? Yes. But is the pace okay? Yeah.
A lot of people say that it's a hard habit to start, but it's also a hard habit to stop. It doesn't take that much time difference, and that the benefits to the planet are much greater than the time wasted, I guess, recycling.
I guess what I always like to start with when I'm presenting on campus is the picture of Earth from outer space. I love that photo because to me it reminds us we're all on this Earth together and we have limited resources, so we really need to figure out for your generation, for the next generation, how to use those resources wisely.
And our future depends on what changes and what behaviors we do now, and recycling is one of those that we definitely have to do.
Do you want to live in filth? I don't.
If we just do it to make ourselves feel good and don't have any kind of larger social project of what to do with recycling, then it's pointless.